Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another podcast of Gator Gang Network. And this is what would be the Florida State game week. Turns out to be the Florida Kentucky game week, surrounding everything that's going on throughout the year. And I am joined here with my co-hosts Lucas and Daryl. How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing
Doing good.
good.
How are you?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. Ready for the game tomorrow. We got a big game versus Kentucky, and we know what this details. Kentucky's going to come in there. They're going to come in there swinging. They're going to give it their best shot. The last time that they were in the swamp, they came away victorious with a 27-16 win. And we know with them coming into the swamp at noon, we cannot let that happen. We just cannot let that happen. So, without further ado, Dale, I'm going to give you the first question of the night. What do you think about the Florida offense and Kyle Trask?
I think it's fun again. I I see them having fun out there, and they're throwing the ball. They're getting touchdowns, and this. I mean, he's scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns a game in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just phenomenal. I haven't seen an offense like that in a long time. I mean, even the Tim Tebow years and stuff, we didn't really pass the ball around as much as we're doing now. So it's pretty fun.
It takes the whole definition back to the 90s of the real fun and gun under Steve Spurrier, and always having that threat of having the receivers. I mean, the receivers that we have. Lucas, I'm gonna give this question to you. What do you think about the receivers? I mean, looking back to last year, I'm like, we lost Freddie Swain, we lost Jefferson, and we lost Cleveland. So we lost some really good receivers. What do you think about how the receivers that we have this year have stepped up in the role of them?
I was a little bit worried about the wide receivers just based on how many guys we have lost, but this is probably the best weapons / skill position players we have had since Tim Tebow, and all them guys have been around.
Exactly. When you have a quarterback that can, throw the ball and get it anywhere and everywhere, that's gonna play dividends along throughout the season. And having the receivers to mix it around that we've had is great. But Kyle Trask has 2,554 yards, 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and we obviously know the playing time that he's gotten isn't exactly your full 4 years quarterback.
Give him the Heisman Trophy right now. He deserves it.
You know what? At the moment, I think he does. He is the front runner for it. But Daryl, what do you think Kyle Trask needs to do to continue to be the front runner?
Throw touchdown passes. no, right now, I mean, he's obviously the front runner now. It's in my opinion, and I think in the entire country, he would probably, if they voted today, he would probably win it. But obviously, he's got to keep winning football games. I think he's got to get that big moment game. I mean, a lot of these games, like with Kentucky and Tennessee, those are going to be big games coming up. LSU, of course. But that big moment game, the one, the SEC championship game, I think he's got to go and beat Alabama. And if he can do that and then get himself in the spot where he can be in a playoff berth and stuff, I think he's going to win the Heisman.
I honestly think we could lose the game. He could still win it.
Yeah, we could lose the game. I think if he keeps putting up, I mean, if he's throwing 3 or 4 touchdowns every game, and he's got several more games to go, he's going to surpass some of the greats of all time. So I don't see how you couldn't give him a Heisman. But
I don't know if you watched that. He only needs 9 touchdown passes in the next.
Yeah. He's going to surpass some really great players at Florida that we've ever seen. So if he can keep that up, but I still think you need that big marquee game. I mean, he beat Georgia, and he did it by passing the ball. But I still think he needs one more under his belt for that you're going to get the Heisman nod and not kind of a question mark behind it.
I do agree, but I'm going to take the floor, and when I say this, I want everybody to listen real well. Those of y'all who are, watching, make sure y'all drop a comment and let us know what y'all think about Kyle Trask and his Heisman, favorites. But, we're talking 31 touchdowns in a season, a shortened season of 10 games. And we're not playing no cupcake games this year. This is a 10-game, all SEC schedule, and Kyle Trask is putting up the numbers like he has. He's first in the nation in on touchdown passes. Um, I've said it before. I don't know what it's taken for them to not see this in practice. But under Dan Mullen, he has flourished, and I've had this conversation with a couple people. Why hasn't he started sooner? My take is on that is some players, you have the talent, and some players are just coachable. And Kyle Trask is one of those players that is really truly coachable and wants to improve week in and week out and has loyalty and commitment, dedicated to his name. I mean, when you look at what he's been through here at Florida, he has absolutely had, been on the bench when he could have went somewhere else, knowing that he has, good talent and played anywhere else. But he chose to stay at Florida, and he is his chance, his story is so amazing that I love it. I love it.
Agreed. If you look at the story behind what Kyle has done and sat behind some pretty great quarterbacks, nowadays people leave, they transfer. So you got to feel that story, and if he can go on and keep winning, and I don't know if they're going to go win a national championship, but if they can keep winning and put themselves in the SEC championship game and have a big win there, what a story behind all that. That's amazing. That's 2020. That's 2020 stuff.
The SEC championship game is the day before my birthday, so what a birthday present.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely would be
Look,
great.
Look, if Florida keeps winning, and obviously they win the SEC championship game, they'll be in the playoffs. How far they go from there, I don't know, but they will be in the playoffs. But that will be the next big game.
I honestly think I would consider the season a success if we get there and lose in a close game, but show progress.
If we lose, I do want it has to be a close one, because it seems like every time we go, we can beat them. We can beat them. We can play with them because we can score just like they can score. So it's going to be a really high scoring game, I think. But I think we can beat them because when Florida's playing, they're really good.
You both alluded to some great points and both of your takes. So, Lucas, you mentioned that Kyle Trask needs 9 more touchdowns to break Danny Warfel's record of 39 passing touchdowns in a single season. And Danny Warfel did that in a longer season. So this is like, and Daryl, to your point, 2020 has been a hell of a year and a different year, but to have the record that that he's pacing at, to be up there with the greats, the Danny Warfel, the Tim Tebow, the Chris Leak, the Rex Grossman of the Florida quarterbacks, and you're hanging toe to toe with each and every one of them. I mean, that just says great things to how great you are. And we cannot, mention, when we mention Kyle Trask, we cannot forget to mention Dan Mullen, because he is so great with the quarterbacks that he's had over the years, from Tim Tebow to Alex Smith to Dak Prescott, and now Kyle Trask. And I mean, he's the strides that he has made is tremendous.
He's on pace to pass for 50 touchdowns over 4,000 yards.
I don't know if he'll get all of that, but I just know that right now he's on pace to have a hell of a year and a hell of a record. And let's give it to his parents. His parents raised one hell of a boy that is super humble and doesn't take it for granted, and has the dedication and commitment that you need throughout life, not just football.
Yeah. His
So
parents definitely did raise a hell of a boy, that's for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. But when you look at the flip side of our offense and you look at our defense, we know our leader on offense.
I might just have to go on a rant about the defense. I think we
Yeah,
all
right, right. I think we all have our keys about the defense. But before we get to the defense, we want to let everybody know that Kyle Pitts is back in the lineup and he will be playing versus Kentucky, which is great news. As if our offense hasn't been great enough with him, and then even without him, players have stepped up and been the next man up and have held that role and have played great. But now that he's back, he's going to be ready. He's going to be at it. And another point that I wanted to get to, talking about last week's game against Vandy, we know we came out flat. We know we were soft. We know we didn't have the intensity in the beginning of that game. And I think that goes away in part due to the fact that we weren't in the locker room. We were in an overhang pavilion outside the locker room, and with limited time to be as a team due to COVID, we really did. We went from they had to get padded up in the hotel rooms and then go out to the field. A lot different than the way it normally goes and the way it is. So I don't think that you will see that flat game from Florida this week.
I don't
No.
either. You got to keep this in mind. We always seem to come out flat against Vanderbilt.
When we play in Vanderbilt, I believe
Yes.
that's the case because it's an 11 a.m. start. And I'm sorry for knocking you off, Daryl. I just wanted to throw that in there. That it is early, but I'm not trying to say that that shouldn't be an excuse when you're playing a team like Vanderbilt, who is who they are. But in the last 3 games, they have really stepped up their game as well.
Vanderbilt has played us very close.
I am very impressed with their quarterback, even though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Vanderbilt always has played us really close at their house. I think it was 3 years ago. We were 21-3 at one point in that game and had to come back and win it. So Vanderbilt's always played us really well. We've typically come out and won those games, but in Nashville at 11 o'clock, I think they do that on purpose because it's kind of a lot of times you got more Gator fans there in Nashville than you do Vanderbilt fans. So
And that's the way it
I
normally
think
is.
they
But
do
they
that
only
on
had
purpose.
they only had 1,500 fans there.
Yeah, so it was
And
kind
Dan
of
Mullen had said in the press conference, after the game that the music was overwhelming. It was different. It was a different style play, type of environment. So
yeah.
I'm sure that had to do a lot with it. But as we seen, the game went along and they just got better. But we can't be having those flat games anymore. Against any opponent that we play.
Yeah, I mean, because this next game here, Kentucky playing tomorrow. I mean, that's not a pushover team. They're actually a really good football program, and they're going to come play tomorrow. And Tennessee is a really good football program coming up after all that. So LSU as well. So there are big games that are coming up. They're all winnable.
It's going to be really cold in Knoxville in December. So
Yeah,
It is. Yeah.
exactly. When you look at the Kentucky and Tennessee, they are usually games 3 and 4 on schedule, but this year there are 9th and 10th games of the schedule. So, Lucas, as you had mentioned, that we're making 2 trips to Tennessee within a 3-week period. So, how cold will that be for them? Because we know getting into next week, even here for us at about Tuesday, it's going to be pretty cold here in Florida. So I haven't exactly looked at what the temperature is going to be then for game day on Saturday versus Tennessee, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty cold. But the last time that Kentucky came into the swamp, they took it to us. They won 27-16. And that was their first win in 31 years.
I'm going to put this as a note. The last time we played Tennessee in December, we lost 34-32 in Steve Spurrier's last game in the swamp.
Yeah, so that's a stat right there that we don't want to have that hanging over us, and we want to be able to get that win in December when we play them because this has been a different year, but I think we can do it. I think we have the players, but let's talk about keys to the defense on the flip side of the ball, and the defense has been wishy-washy. They have been up and down. We have seen them play really good. We have seen them play crappy at times. But this is an all SEC schedule, and we do lead
I
in
do.
sacks, and we're, we're we're right there on the defensive line. We've talked about it all year of them not being as great as they were, but they are playing greater than what we think they are playing. We just know that our secondary has got to be a whole lot different and a whole lot better. And one of the things that I think we really need to stop giving up is this slant pass because we cannot defend the slant pass to save our life.
Um, what I've been really impressed with some of the young guys that have gone in there when they have got the chance, like Javi or Pierre and Hopper. They impressed me last week.
Yeah, we've had a lot of young talent that have come in and stepped up and probably been at least as good, if not, really coachable on the defensive end. I'm just, really worried about that secondary and why, Daryl, why can't we stop a slant pass? What are you seeing from the defense that is like a team can throw a slant pass and, convert it pretty easily against our defense, and I'm not understanding why.
I feel like they're not. They're not really pressuring like a press coverage. I feel like they're sitting back on a lot of this coverage and more of a zone. Um, I do think that there was some good progress. Like I seen some progress, like in the Georgia game, but obviously I think the players were more ready for that kind of game. Um, I don't know. I think that they're not being physical enough within those first
I
5 yards, and so you're getting those little slants and stuff.
I'm not. I don't mean to bash the. I don't mean to bash Grantham, but I don't think he's the man for the job. We need to. We need to get Charlie Stronger, one of those high-profile guys, to come in here.
Yeah, it seems.
How are we going to put this on Todd Grantham when I don't know if it's Todd Grantham or if it's player execution, but I know that a lot of things have got to be different. And the fact that you're right, we are playing a little soft zone, and there were some key moments, and especially in that Georgia game where we were playing them tight because last year that's the way we played Georgia was with that soft zone, and they were eating our ass alive, play in and play out. So this year we were a whole lot better against defending on that. And I don't know if it's when it comes to what they're seeing on the field and why we're playing and pressing the way that we are, but I just feel, Daryl, that it's not that we need to have more consistency on how we're playing the drives.
Yeah, I agree. And I really don't know why Grantham is playing the way he was because it seems like the last couple of years, Grantham has had some good defenses. Um, but it just seems like this year, I don't know if he has all the pieces around him to call the defense that he would like. So I think he's playing more of that soft, don't bend, kind of defense. But I don't know. I'm not on the field and I'm not coaching, so I really don't know what they're seeing. But they can be a better defense and they can press because we've seen that in the Georgia game. They did pretty well there. There was a couple busted coverages, but you're going to have that. Um, so I just think they got to get more physical on the line, and you'll stop those little slants and short passes.
Yeah,
Exactly, and we've come to this whole week knowing that we weren't even sure if this game was going to be played. We were hoping for today a testing.
Kentucky, by
Uh,
the way, guys, Kentucky has 18 players out and 10 staff members that are not going to coach tomorrow.
exactly, 18 players that are out, 10 staff members. That's a lot, and that's a toll on your team. And I wish it could be a normal year. I wish it could be normal circumstances, but Florida had their tussle with it. Kentucky's having theirs right now, and we're just hitting them at a wrong time. I'm just, every day I'm just glad to see that we're able to play some football because, we've gone some games and before
If you
preseason that
if
we
you
weren't
had
even
gone
sure.
2-0, I would say there's no chance that we get the season in.
I wasn't sure of how far throughout the season we would get, but we've come pretty far, and hopefully we can continue to be able to play these games because speaking for me, you, and every other Gator fan, we love seeing our Gators, play on Saturdays, but ultimately it comes down to player safety first, and I'd rather them be safe than see them play a football game.
Yeah,
So.
I'm with you. And another thing, I don't mean to be off topic here, but the basketball team starts their season next week.
Yes, to talk about another non-topic thing that I had posted on the Gator Gang about the chick for Vanderbilt to be the first ever player to be on a D5 SEC school and could potentially play in a game. I think that's incredible. I think that's awesome. Shout out to her. I wish her the best of luck, and I hope she gets in there and kicks a field goal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, that would be awesome. That would bring a lot of, just parity to the sport. I really do. I think we should see more of that because there are, you know, people out there, girls that are out there that can play football,
mhm.
and I don't see why they shouldn't be able to, especially if they can get in there and do it, compete.
If they feel that they're ready and that they want to play and they can compete with the men, then
Yep.
they should be out there on the field and playing. If their skill set is good enough,
And
Yep.
let them play. Don't feel like because they're a female that they can't do what a male can because we've seen it time and time again. A female can do anything a male can do,
Yep.
given the shot. And
Yep.
this is a
it's not
thing
like
for.
she's, it's not like she's just trying out. She's a soccer player, so we know that she's got the leg.
Yeah, we
Yep.
know she's got
Yeah.
a leg. We know she can. She's got the control. So I'm just saying. Yeah, I want to see her play so well and be able to get that shot. But back to getting on topic. This game with it's lopsided as we think it's going to be. Let's be realistic and see the way our defense is. And Lucas, I'm gonna start with you. What is your score prediction
Uh,
for this
30,
game?
38-10.
You're going 38-10. Explain to me why do you think 38-10? What do you think Florida does well in this game defensively to keep them limited to 10 points?
Well, first of all, Kentucky can't. Kentucky cannot throw for. Kentucky's like 111th or something like that in passing on offense, and the only thing that they do is run the ball. So I think if we can stop the run, we'll be in good shape.
I agree. I agree with that. Daryl, what do you think? What's your score prediction?
I think this one's going to be a little. I think I'm going to go 44-28. I do think Kentucky's going to be able to score some points on us because they do have a running back, and they're going to be able to score some points because our defense is not that great right now. But offensively, I think we're going to score points on them as well. So I got 44-28.
Okay. Um, and I'm gonna go 48-17. I'm gonna go 48-17 because I believe with Kyle Pitts back in the lineup, he's gonna be ready. He's gonna want to play. He's gonna want to get the ball. Kentucky having the players out and the staff members, I know that's going to be an impact in the game for them as well. I feel that our defense gives up a little bit, but we don't give up a lot. I feel that we'll be ready. We'll be buckled down. I believe this week in practice, Dan Mullen got on to the players about the lackluster start to that Vanderbilt game, and it's going to challenge them to come into the swamp this weekend and be ready to play
He's got.
a better game.
I don't mean to cut you off, but he's got a better record than Steesburg and Urban Myers with 33 games.
Exactly. So we're looking really good offensively, defensively. I feel we need to step up, but we're a work in progress. We're a young team, and that leader. I think we're just lacking a leader on defense. Because something that I wanted to get into about the defense is, Daryl, I'm sure you noticed this a whole lot. The defense looked confused at times. They weren't settled. They weren't in place. What I think that goes down to
I honestly
coaching
think
and getting players ready to where they need to be when they get on the field and not look so damn confused.
we're missing with oversold the oversold David Reese leaving last year.
Yeah, it seems like we don't have that big communicator on the field, and you're right. The coaches have got to get these guys settled more, and that's the most important thing, right? Because they were running around on the field, and you could tell that Vanderbilt had a game plan to go quick, and they were getting off the ball before we were even lined up Saturday. So they've definitely got to be able to get better and get that communication across the field.
I like your son back there throwing up the Gator chomp. I like that.
Yeah,
It's good to see that from the young man. He's going to be a Gator one day.
one day. That's right. All right, Bubba.
Well, it's another noon game. It's an early kickoff. We got to get up early for this one.
For the for the for the guys wondering, yes, I will be streaming the game like I always do.
That's good. Tune in to if you're not by a TV and you're able to hop on Facebook, get on the group, and Lucas will be going live streaming the game as he always does, which we all love to see. But I'm ready for this game. It's a blessing to watch another Gator game. I'm just ready to see Kyle Trask go out and ball out. As I have been posting in the group about the Trask tracker with 31 touchdowns and needing 9 more to pass the record and having 3 games left. Obviously, it's not hard math to do. He just needs 3 in the last 3 games for each game, and he'll get the record. I think 3 touchdowns versus Kentucky, 3 versus Tennessee, and 3 versus LSU. I don't think that's a hard feat to do. But then again, these are SEC games, and you're going to get everybody's best shot every week.
I think he's going to go with 3 versus 4 tomorrow, 3 next week.
I think he will surpass the 3 per game. Personally, I mean, he could throw 5 or 6 in the game if he's on it. So especially with Pitts in there, so I think you'll see him throw way more than the 3 per game.
Okay, say this game gets out of hand and we're going into the third, going into the fourth quarter, and he only has 2 touchdowns. Obviously, I've seen people say that they want to keep Kyle Trask in the game, but I say you pull him and put Emory in because, yes, the Heisman he's still on track to get that, but I don't think you want to risk him for injury over trying to have him have this 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdown game.
No, I agree. We need to keep him healthy because if this is the third, we're going into the third quarter and it's 52-0, I don't pull him out in the game because we don't need him at that point, and we need him to stay healthy. So I don't want to see records are records. He's going to get it regardless. So
yeah, I think so. But thank you for everybody who tuned in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the YouTube channel in the description below. And you know how we lead this. If you ain't a Gator, you must be Gator bait.
Gator bait.